I didn't realize it at first, but this race was actually a battle for the top spot of the global ladder race ranking. This was the battle of the birds, you could say. It's SISU Haraka, which means magpies in Finnish, against the Ospreys from DIRT. So I guess in nature you would probably call Ospreys the favorite, but let's see how it went. One thing you probably need to know about ladder races is that they always start out hard from the gun. In this case, the Ospreys were the ones to go hardest at first. This meant I pretty much had to do the first 90 seconds alone to catch up to the group. So the lesson here, never get dropped from the beginning. Being number one in the world, the Ospreys really took responsibility to make this a hard race, pushing and attacking pretty much throughout this first of 2 laps on storyline 8. Now, if you're not sure what ladder racing is all about, I've left a link for a Zwift Insider article where you can read more. But the basic setup is you have 2 teams, 5 riders each. You get degrading points from 10 to 1 for finishing positions. Now, the final scores are usually very tight, so every person matters. Everybody can end up playing a crucial role in the race, which is one of many reasons to love ladder racing. At this point, Kyle from the Ospreys puts in a lethal attack, which none of us are able to follow, and he keeps up his awesome power all the way to the finish. Of course, losing first place is not great, but in ladder racing it doesn't have to be the end of the race. So let's look at the rider list on the right. They have their guy Kyle up front, and we are not catching him. In my group we are 3 SISU riders against 2 Ospreys. Slightly behind us we have Richard Wilson, caught in no man's land, chasse patate as they say in France, and behind him we have 1 SISU rider against 2 of theirs.
Absolutely fantastic work, Richard. Great job.
Now their guy Kyle is still out front, but by forfeiting first place and not chasing him, we've actually created a much better scenario for ourselves. Mainly because of Richard Wilson, who you'll see in the 7th place right now. He's still going strong on his own as the chasse patate. Well, he might be 7th in the race, but he is the absolute linchpin of our tactics right now. Since we've given up first place, we don't need to do any work in the front group. The 2 Ospreys in the front group, on the other hand, they might want to work to keep Richard away, unless they want to turn this current 3v2 into a 4v2. Looking further back, our guy Chris Poole has no reason to work either, but the 2 Ospreys with him, they want to try and catch Richard up ahead. So effectively, Richard working super hard is forcing 4 of their guys to take turns and work hard. You see in the rider list how close Richard has gotten. He's kept up the pressure from behind, and this means the 3 of us and Chris in the group behind can gear up for a sprint with relatively fresh legs. It's safe to say that none of us have been doing maths in our head at this point. We don't know exactly what's needed to win, but I think we all think we have a fair shot at winning if we do well in the sprint. So let's go for it. Now Kieran and Peter, who are in the group with me, they're both excellent sprinters. I'm not as strong in that department. So for a guy like me, having fresh legs at this point is a massive help.
Sorry guys, couldn't catch him.
Now even if one of their guys came in ahead of me, we still got 2nd, 3rd and 5th. And with Richard coming in at 7th and Chris at 9th, that was just enough to edge out the opponents. So we get the win by 29 points to 26, and SISU goes to the top of the ladder league, at least until next week.